Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A crime/mystery/espionage show, Les Damon starring as the Falcon. This episode of the show was originally broadcast April 22nd, 1951. It's entitled The Case of the Missing Miss.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Linda. I'm glad you called. Oh, you'll have to cancel me out tonight, Angel. I've got to take a toy away from a baby. Someone just bought this baby a gun, and unless I stop her, she figures to get quite a bang out of it.
This is Ed Hurley, friends, inviting you to listen to The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the missing miss. And now, the case of the missing miss. It is late Saturday afternoon, and a short, heavy-set boy in a dirty trench coat makes his way to the 12th floor suite of Senator Arthur Blake. And when he comes to the door, he feels at his left shoulder where the outline of a holster can be seen. Then, obviously reassured he hasn't forgotten the tools of his trade, he knocks on the senator's door.
Just a second. Yes?
Is Senator Blake in?
Oh, I'm afraid he's busy at the moment. Can I help you? I'm Marion Crane, his secretary.
Oh, nice. Where is he, in there?
Just a moment, Mr.
Darling.
I don't remember making an appointment for you.
Don't let it worry you, Miss Crane. I make my own.
Marion, would you be good enough to... Oh, I'm sorry, my dear. I didn't realize we had a visitor.
Hello, Senator.
How do you do, sir?
I hate to break in on you like this, but it can't be helped. My name is Dowling.
Dowling, are you...
No, I'm not one of your constituents. I'm with the FBI.
The FBI?
That's right, honey.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Dowling?
You can get your things and come along with me.
I'm afraid I don't understand, sir.
You don't, Senator? You ever hear of an outfit called Premium Oil?
Premium Oil? No, I don't believe I have.
How about a party named Jean Colbert?
No.
That's very strange, Senator, because our investigation shows you helped Colbert sell over $8 million worth of petroleum products to the Navy during the war.
Well, my good man is selling oil to the Navy, a violation of the law?
It is when Colbert and his phony company never delivered even a jar of Vaseline for all that dough.
Well, there must be some mistake.
Could be. Suppose you take that up with my chief.
I'll be glad to, Mr. Dowling. If you'll excuse me for a moment.
Wait a minute, Senator. Where are you going?
Just to get my briefcase. I left it in the bedroom. I assure you I have no intention of escaping.
Okay.
Mr. Dowling.
Yeah?
Are you from the Washington Bureau or the local office?
Well, what difference does... Did you hear something then?
Yes, it came from the bedroom.
Is there a fire escape in there?
No. Senator!
Get away from that window, Blake. Stay where you are, Mr. Dowling. If you take one more step...
Now listen, Blake, quit bluffing and climb down off that window ledge.
So you think I'm bluffing?
No, Senator, don't!
Well, hello, Lindsay. You know you're not supposed to come to my apartment unless I have something for you.
Well, I got something for you, Lindsay. Senator Blake just committed suicide.
What are you talking about?
Haven't you seen the afternoon papers?
No.
Well, take a look.
Senator Arthur Blake commits suicide. Head of Contract Negotiation Committee dies in 12-story leap. So what?
Well, don't you get it, Lindsay? This is all tied up with premium oil.
Is that what it says?
Oh, no, but that's the way it figures. Senator Blake was my contact.
Senator Blake?
Yeah. I relayed all the instructions I got from you to him.
Well, you're out of your mind, Horrell. There's nothing wrong with premium oil.
Oh, sure there is. I've been convinced of that for a year.
Well, then why didn't you talk up before?
I don't know. Maybe the money was too good. Or maybe I was afraid.
Oh, you're wrong, Horrell.
Don't be a chump. If Premium Oil was on the up and up, why would they go for all this hocus pocus?
What hocus pocus?
Why, nobody in this setup knows anyone else but the party he gets his instructions from.
Well, I guess that just prevents leaks.
You don't believe that any more than I do. Now, listen, Lindsay, we got to compare notes. Who's the guy you get your instructions from?
I can't tell you.
Now, don't be a sap, friend. We're playing with dynamite. Who's your contact?
Jean Colbert.
You got to get in touch with him.
I can't.
You got to.
But you don't understand, Horrell. I've never seen this Colbert. Whenever he's got any message for me, he writes.
Well, then he must be the head man in this racket.
Now, don't call it that.
Why, you got a better name? We got to face it, Lindsay. They just been using us for tools.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yes, there is, too. I'm going to get a private detective.
I think you're making a mistake, Horrell.
No, I should have done it a long time ago. Are you with me?
No, I'm going to sit quiet for a while.
You better change your mind, Lindsay. There's plenty of time for that when you're dead.
Yeah?
I'd like to talk to Michael Warren, please.
You are now.
Oh, Mr. Warren, my name is Edward Horrell.
Horrell?
Yeah. I hate to bother you on Sunday, but I need help fast.
Well, then I suggest you try someone else.
Someone else?
Sure, in a city as big as New York, there must be at least 2 private detectives.
Well, you don't understand, Warren. Did you read about Senator Blake's suicide?
What about it?
I'm the boy who paid him off.
What are you yapping about?
Another fellow named Kenneth Lindsay and myself were employed by Premium Oil, you see. But we didn't know what kind of a racket it was. As a matter of fact, Lindsay still isn't convinced.
How come you are?
Well, I've been doing a little checking on my own.
Well, if you've got any information, Horrell, you should turn it over to the proper authorities. Where do you live?
I'm at the Kimberly, apartment 4A.
You there now?
Yeah.
Well, don't do any more talking on the phone. Your wire may be tapped. I'll be there in half an hour.
That you, Warren?
Yeah.
Okay. Come in.
Thanks.
I didn't expect you for another 20 minutes. Let me take you.
What's the matter, Horrell?
You're not Warren.
Ain't I?
No. I've seen pictures of him, and he's at least 6 inches taller than you are.
Maybe it just seems like that.
Yeah? And how do you account for his hair being black while yours is blonde?
Well, don't you think it goes better with my complexion?
Listen, mister, what's your game?
You don't have to worry, Horrell. I'm from the FBI.
Yeah?
You don't seem convinced.
I'm not. What's your name?
Dowling.
Did Warren send you here?
Yep.
Which Warren?
Well, aren't you the suspicious one?
You're darn right I am, especially since I've been listening to the radio.
What do you mean?
Well, according to what I just heard, before Senator Blake committed suicide, an FBI agent dropped around to see him.
So?
So after Blake jumped, this character told Blake's secretary to stay where she was and he'd go get the police. P.S. He never come back. The cops think he was a phony.
And you think that was me, hmm?
Well, he meets your description. Heavy-set boy in a khaki trench coat.
Well, I guess there's only one way I can prove it to you. You want to see my credentials?
Well, that might be a good idea.
Okay, Horrell. Now, what does this look like?
Hey, what's the idea of the gun?
You asked to see it.
Then I was right.
Yeah. But I don't think it'll do you much good.
You killed Senator Blake?
No, he was obliging enough to save me the trouble. You see, my department...
Your department?
Yeah. The Department of Dead Ends. I'm what you might call the cleanup man for Premium Oil.
You're not fooling me. You're Jean Colbert.
Who?
Jean Colbert.
I don't seem to recall that name.
How about Kenneth Lindsay?
Glad you reminded me. I got to see him next. So suppose we get this over with.
Listen, darling. Can't we talk this over?
I don't think so.
Well, for Pete's sake, what can you lose?
You wouldn't be trying to stall me, would you, Horrell?
Why should I?
Seems to me you mentioned something about a fellow named Waring being due here.
Oh, well, I was wrong.
You said it, Horrell. You were wrong. Dead wrong.
Now, darling, look, I'll give you... Give
me what? Too bad. Guess I'll never know.
Yes?
Mr. Kenneth Lindsay?
That's right.
Edward Horrell gave me your name.
Oh, well, come in.
I guess there is such a thing as luck.
I beg your pardon?
There are 8 Kenneth Lindsays in the phone book, and the first time out I get the right one.
Now, look, Mr.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. My name is Mike Waring. I'm working for Harrell.
Then he did hire a detective.
Yep.
Oh. Sit down.
Thanks.
Drink?
Yes, I could stand one after seeing Harrell.
Why didn't you, bring him along?
Cops thought he'd be much more comfortable at the morgue. Think you dropped something, Lindsay.
Is this your idea of a joke, Waring?
About Harrell? Hardly. He was murdered an hour ago.
Who did it?
Don't you know?
If Horrell told you I knew anything about Jean Colbert...
Jean Colbert? Who's he?
Well, didn't Horrell mention him?
No, he only gave me your name. That's why I said I was lucky to find you.
Suppose I've said now you've got the wrong one.
Well, it'd be a little late now. I spotted you for the right one the second I looked into this room.
How?
Well, you've got 5 afternoon papers here, and they're all turned to the account of Senator Blake's death.
You're pretty smart, aren't you?
No, not nearly enough. That's why I need your help.
Well, I can't tell you a thing, and even if I could, I wouldn't pick you for a confidant.
Now, don't be a fool, Lindsay.
I told Horrell to keep his mouth shut.
That didn't make any difference. Use your head. Blake is dead, and so is Horrell. How long do you think you've got?
Well, there may be something in what you say.
Well, of course there is. Now, Horrell got his orders from you, didn't he?
Yes.
And you got them from this Jean Colbert?
That's right.
Who is he?
I don't know. I never saw the man. I only heard from him through the mail.
Have you got any of his letters here?
Well, yes, but I don't think they'll do you any good. They're all typewritten.
May I have them?
Yeah, sure.
All right, now I want to get one thing straight. After you gave Horrell his instructions, he forwarded them to Senator Blake, right?
That's what Horrell told me. None of us knew any link in the chain except the one next to him.
Well, the senator must have kept some sort of records.
Well, I wouldn't know.
But didn't the paper say something about his having a secretary?
Yes, her name is Marion Crane, but you don't think she can shed any light on the subject?
And you never can tell, Lindsay. For all we know, she may be the original lady with the lamp. Let's hope she can show us the way.
April 22nd, 1951, The Falcon on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of The Falcon, April 22nd, 1951.
Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon. An hour has passed since Lindsay gave Mike Waring the lead to Marion Crane, Senator Blake's secretary. And now as we find that little lady, she's obviously got her hands full.
Right. 23 left, 82 right. What do you know? Works.
That's not nice, Angel.
Who are you?
Name is Waring, Miss Crane.
Don't you believe in knocking?
Well, I didn't want to disturb you. I thought you might be busy. Looks like I showed good judgment there, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, I'll leave it to you, Angel. Now, what secretary would want to be heckled while she's opening her boss's safe?
I was just getting some of my things.
Well, it's awfully nice of the senator to let you keep all those bonds in there.
Look, Mr. Waring, what business is this of yours?
I'm a private detective, Miss Crane. I'm working for the late Edward Harrell.
The late? You mean Harrell's dead?
Then you did know him, huh?
Well, of course, he was a personal friend of the senator's.
Well, perhaps you wouldn't mind answering one of my questions.
Such as?
Who is Jean Colbert?
What do you know about Colbert?
I thought I was going to ask the question.
What do you know about Colbert?
Not a thing. If I did, I wouldn't have to ask you who he was.
Then why do you want to find him?
Because I've got evidence he's responsible for Harrell's death.
Look, Waring, I'm going to give you a piece of advice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm being so nice to you.
Well, maybe it's because I appeal to your maternal instinct.
Yes, maybe. But I wouldn't mess in things that don't concern me.
Well, that's very good coming from you. Especially after I find you messing in Senator Blake's safe.
Get out.
Okay, Miss Crane. Don't think it hasn't been nice.
I know, because it hasn't.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, Angel. In fact, I was so delighted, I'm going to tell all my friends about you. Especially those in the police force.
Yeah, you do that. 3, 8, 2, 4, 3, 1.
Yeah?
Hello, is that you, Woolsey?
Who's this?
Marion Crane.
What's up, Marion?
You better get a wire out to number 1. Private detective named Mike Waring just looked in on me.
The Falcon? That sounds interesting.
He said he had evidence against Jean Colbert. I think he's asking for trouble.
Okay, Marion, if that's what Mr. Waring wants, it should be easy enough to oblige him. I'll be glad to do my part.
Hiya, Pappy.
Huh? Well, I'm glad to see you made yourself at home.
I didn't think you'd mind, Waring. Shut the door.
Now, listen, mister.
Shut it. And your mouth, too, while you're at it. Now, be a good boy and sit right down on that sofa where I can watch you. Right there, that's close enough.
Is that the gun that killed Harrell?
How would you like to find out firsthand?
Now, don't bother. What's your name, friend?
I've got several, Waring. You can call me anything you like.
You know, you're leaving yourself wide open.
Look who's talking. Listen, Waring, you... Who's that?
Got no idea.
Get rid of him.
Okay.
And remember, if you crack out of turn, I'm right behind you.
Hello, Waring. Can I come in?
Well, I'm awfully busy.
Well, I just wanted to hear how you made out with Blake's secretary.
Well, I'll call you in the morning, Lindsay.
Wait a minute.
What?
Your name Lindsay?
What? Yes.
Come on in.
Yes, but Waring said...
Mr. Waring just changed his mind.
Hey, he's got a gun.
That's what changed it. I've been meaning to look in on you, friend. I'm glad you spared me the trip.
Say, what's going on here?
Don't you get it, Lindsay?
If he don't now, he never will.
Why, you know...
No, look out, Lindsay!
Oh.
Lindsay.
Let him lay, Waring. I want to finish that little talk we started.
What do you want?
You've been asking an awful lot of questions about a party named Jean Colbert.
So?
So I don't like it.
Well, that's tough. Give me 24 hours and I'll know who he is.
Maybe you've got some sort of evidence?
Maybe.
Letters?
Perhaps.
I want him, Waring.
Well, I can't blame you for that.
Look, do you turn him over like a nice boy, or do you have to be coaxed?
Oh. Look, you...
What about those letters, Waring?
I haven't got them.
I hope you got plenty of endurance, because, brother, you're going to need it.
Are you going to lay there all night, Mike, or are you going to tell me what happened?
Oh, look, I told you all I could, Sergeant. Next thing I knew, you and Harris were pouring scotch down my... Hey, where is Harris?
I sent him on an errand.
Is Lindsay all right?
Yeah, the doc had to take a couple of stitches in his scalp, but after that he was able to leave. Any idea who Tough Boy was?
No, I don't think he's local.
You might be surprised. Was he short, stocky, about 5'7", blonde hair, and very white skin?
Yeah, that's the boy.
I thought so.
You know him, Corbett?
Fairly well. His name is Joe Dowling.
Dowling?
Alias Joe Denton, alias Jerry Davis. Shall I continue?
Oh, never mind. I get the idea. What gets me is why Dowling didn't stick around to finish the job.
What job?
Well, I got the impression he was going to kill Lindsay.
Oh, then Mr. Lindsay can thank me for saving his life. I was on my way up to see you, and I had him ring you from downstairs. When Dowling heard me coming, he must have beat it out the back way. Now, let's get back to those letters from Colbert. Dowling got them, huh?
Yeah, they were in my pocket all along. I was a sucker not to give them to him when he first asked.
Why?
Well, there was nothing in those letters that was the least bit incriminating. Didn't tell us a thing about Jean Colbert.
You must be wrong, Mike. Dowling didn't do that job on you for nothing.
Say, wait a minute, Sergeant. I've got a hunch.
That may be for me. Hello. Yes, this is Sergeant Corbett. When, Harris? You sure? Okay, you know what to do. Now, what were you saying, Mike?
I think I know who Jean Colbert is.
Oh.
Dowling.
You're nuts.
Now, listen, Sergeant, it makes sense. I tell you, this Joe Dowling and Jean Colbert are one and the same.
There's only one thing wrong with that theory, Mike.
Well, you'll have to show it to me.
Okay, come down to the morgue.
What for?
That was Harris who just phoned in. He found Dowling's body 20 minutes ago. Now, you satisfied?
Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon. 10 minutes have passed since Mike advanced his theory that Joe Dowling and Jean Colbert were one and the same, and had it promptly explode in his face. And so great is the Falcon's disappointment that even hard-hearted Sergeant Corbett is touched.
Come on, snap out of it, Mike. We all make mistakes. You just abuse the privilege.
Well, I don't suppose there's any doubt that the body Harris found is really Dowling, huh?
None whatsoever. Dowling was just taking orders from Colbert, like Lindsay, Harrell, and Blake.
Did they find Colbert's letters on Dowling's body?
No.
Then I was wrong, Corbett.
Nice of you to admit it.
No, I mean when I said that the letters were unimportant. Colbert had to have them back. Now, why?
Don't ask me. I never saw them.
Well, they certainly looked innocent enough to me.
How about secret writing?
Oh, there's no need for that. If you knew what Colbert was getting at, the meaning was obvious. There were 3 of them. They were all identical. All they said was, Dear Lindsay, enclosed, please find $25,000 for Harrell's account. Will you see that he gets it? And they were signed Jean Colbert. Wait a minute. Hold everything.
Now, don't tell me you've got another brainstorm.
Yeah, look. Suppose I told you that Jean Colbert was a woman.
You better lay down, Mike.
Now, listen to me, Sergeant. Nobody's ever seen Colbert. The only trace we have is those letters.
So?
So that's why Colbert had to have them back. Because sooner or later, somebody was bound to realize the fallacy.
We'll get to the conclusion of The Falcon from April 22nd, 1951, along with an episode of the Tom Mix Ralston Straightshooters. That's all coming up when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues following these messages.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of The Falcon, starring Les Damon. This originally broadcast April 22nd, 1951.
Now, look, how do you spell the French name, Jean?
Jean.
And how do you pronounce that in English?
Jean.
There you are, you see what I mean? It can be a girl's name, too.
But where's there a woman in this case?
How about Senator Blake's secretary?
Marion Crane?
Yes. Though I've never been known to pass up a pretty gal, this one you can take.
Let me understand you, gentlemen. You think that I am Jean Colbert?
No, not Jean Colbert, Miss Crane. Jean Colbert.
No, that's very funny, Mr. Waring.
I'm glad you find it amusing.
Oh, I do, Sergeant. You're basing your entire case on that?
No. There were several other things that gave you away.
Such as?
Well, finding you at the senator's safe.
Anything else?
Well, once I realized that Jean was a woman's name, it all added up. You went to work for Senator Blake just to keep tabs on him.
Why did I hire Lindsay and Harrell?
Because you didn't want any trail leading back to you. Then when you heard there was an investigation afoot to look into premium oil, you thought it time to dissolve your organization.
So I hired Dowling, and then when he did his job, I got rid of it.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. You know, Mr. Waring, this only goes to prove that there is something in woman's intuition.
Huh?
I had a feeling you were going to be an awful nuisance.
Well, I'm glad to say you were right. Okay, Marion, whenever you're ready.
Ready?
Yes, I think Sergeant Corbett is willing to call it a night, so suppose we start for headquarters.
No. I'm staying right here.
I've got $5 to say you're wrong.
Well, put it up and we'll leave it to the sergeant.
Watch it. Corbett, don't let it get to that first.
I only want to get my wallet and show him this.
Holy cow.
Well, what is it?
You and your theories. Give her the $5.
What are you talking about?
Haven't you ever seen a card like this before?
No, what?
Well, I have, and it says that the bearer, Miss Marion Crane, is an agent of the Department of Justice.
Well, it doesn't make sense, Waring. You say Senator Blake's secretary was a federal agent?
Yes, she was a plant, Lindsay.
Well, couldn't she have forged those credentials?
No, Sergeant Corbett has already checked Washington. She's been with him since 45.
Well, where do we go from here?
Well, the sergeant and I have been talking it over, and we've come to one conclusion.
What?
We're never going to find Colbert.
Well, you can't give up now.
Well, what else can we do? Colbert will never be found for one simple reason.
Why?
He doesn't exist.
What are you talking about?
He's the little man who wasn't there.
I don't follow you, Mike.
He's just a figment of the imagination.
Whose?
Yours, Lindsay.
What?
Yes, you were the boy who dreamed him up. You gave him life, breath, and dimension. And what a pity you can't arrange to have him take those 10,000 votes instead of you.
I'm sorry if I was rough on you, Mike.
Oh, that's all right, Marion. But must we talk about that now?
Yes, we must. You know, our office was working on this case for months, and you could have ruined everything.
Well, you don't have to rub it in.
How did you realize Lindsay was our boy?
Well, when I found out you were a government agent, it suddenly occurred to me what a beautiful swindle Lindsay was in a position to work. All we had was his word and several letters that there was actually such a person as Colbert. Lindsay pretended to be just another cog in the wheel.
Sure, by pretending to follow orders like the rest, he could mask as an innocent tool like Rel.
Mm-hmm.
You think Dowling knew who he was?
Yes, he was the only one. That's why Lindsay had to kill him.
But why did Dowling slug him in your apartment?
Well, that was a cheap enough price for Lindsay to pay to convince me he was on the up and up. But you'd be surprised what put me on the right track.
What?
I mentioned to you that I had evidence pointing to Colbert.
Huh?
Well, if you didn't send Dowling around to pick it up, the only other party who could have done it was Lindsay. He was the only other one who knew about the letters.
Then actually they were valueless.
Oh, sure. Lindsay wrote them just to cover himself.
Well, guess that takes care of everything.
Well, not quite. There's still one thing about this case that bothers me.
What?
You.
Do I really bother you that much, Mike?
Oh, you have no idea, Angel.
What's there about me that disturbs you so?
Well, there's your face, and your figure, and most of all...
Yes?
That $5 you won from me on that bet, that I'll never get over.
April 22nd, 1951, The Falcon on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Now we head out west on Classic Radio Theater with an episode of the Tom Mix Ralston Straightshooters. This episode of the Western originally broadcast April 22nd, 1947, and the mystery of the woman in gray.
The Tom Mix Ralston Straightshooters are on the air. And here comes Tom Mix, America's favorite cowboy.
That's Tony, cowboy! Shredded Ralston for your breakfast. Starts the day all shining bright. Gives you lots of cowboy energy with a flavor that's just right. It's delicious and nutritious, bite-sized and ready to eat. Take a tip from Tom. Go and tell your mom Shredded Ralston can't be beat.
The Tom Mix Ralston Straightshooters bring you another episode in the mystery of the woman in gray. It is late afternoon in Tom's office at the TM bar, and...
Oh, off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sky.
In thunderation. Looks like you just crash-landed, Wash.
I gotta fix that rug again one of these days.
Oh, Mike and I are busy right now, Wash. Did you want something?
Yes, sir, Miss Tom. Can I get me a $5 advance on my salary for this month?
Well, sure.
Yes, you see, I gotta buy me a pair of googles.
A pair of what?
Googles. You know what the birdmen wear when they fly them planes?
You mean goggles?
Yes, that's what I say, Miss Tom, goggles.
What in the name of flamethrowers and lead pushers do you want with googles? I mean goggles.
Well, so I can learn to fly.
Learn to fly? Oh, now, Wash, wait a...
golly, to goodness, Miss Tom, why not? This here's the air age, ain't it?
Not for you, it ain't.
Well, I begs to disagreement with you, Mr. Mike. Major Ed Wolcott, he'll say, anybody can learn to fly, this including me. Yeah, prop wash, that's what they gonna call me from here on. Prop wash.
When did Ed Wilker tell you this, Wash?
Well, when I was over there today, see, he got the field all cleared off, and he got one hangar built already, and he got two little bitty old planes, you know, and he'll say he's gonna take me up and he's gonna show me how to fly.
Say, it sounds like Ed's coming along with the airfield, eh, Tom?
Yes. Well, we'll have to ride out and have a look-see before long. Well, all right, Wash, here's the $5. Now, you better let Mike and me get back to our work.
Yes, sir. I take off at once. I fly.
Tumbleweeds in Texas takes it.
I got to fix that runway one of these days, Miss Tom. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high.
Wash me around again, Willie. It's always something new with Wash.
Why not, Mike?
Yes.
Now, let's see. I think we've got the district roundup just about set. Vinegar John will be in charge, and your brother Dan will be segundo in command.
Well, now, hold on a second. I thought you was going to be in charge as usual, Tom.
No, Mike, I've got a feeling that you and I are going to be needed right here in Dobie. There's something wrong, and we've got to find out what it is.
Something wrong, all right. I can't figure what's got into folks. All of them acting like they needed to go out and hunt up something to use for a backbone.
They're scared, Mike. Powerful scared. I've learned something else, too. Caesar Ciano didn't die in that forest fire.
You mean he's still alive?
Yes, very much alive. He was picked up by a forest ranger and taken to the hospital in Capital City. Mike, since I learned this, I've done some further checking up on Ciano. This is what I found out. On his release from prison, he headed straight for Dobie. A good 5 weeks elapsed between the time he left prison and the time he showed up in the Black Mountains. That means he had plenty of time to start something here in Dobie. Results of which we can see now in the faces and actions of our friends here.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel like you're sitting on a powder keg waiting for it to go off. Yeah, but Tom, what about this woman in gray?
Well, she bothers me too, Mike. I've put a tracer on her through the FBI to find out who she is, where she comes from, and what she's up to.
You figure she is up to something then, huh?
She must be, Mike. The way she acted when I talked to her, the little trick she pulled on Angus. Yes, and on me.
Thunderation, Tom. Are you sure they are tricks?
Yes, Mike. Mental telepathy is possible, of course, but not under the conditions she pretended to be using it or in such a dramatic way. No, she's got a trick up her sleeve, and I've got to find out what it is. Because she's using it for something that means trouble.
Looky here, Tom.
Yes, Mike?
Tom, I ain't never seen you this worried.
No, Mike, you haven't. For a very good reason. I've never been this worried before.
Worried? Tom has reason to be worried, as we'll learn in a moment. But first, Straight-Shooters, you've probably tried a lot of different cereals, but one of these days, your mother's going to bring home a gay red and white checkerboard package with Shredded Ralston written across the front of it. When you open up the package and those crisp, toasty little shredded Ralston bite-sized biscuits come tumbling out, you're going to say, gee, I never saw a cereal like this before. Then you pour on some milk, and maybe you'll even pile on your favorite fruit. And when you taste the first delicious spoonful, you'll say to yourself, boy, this is it. This is the cereal I've been waiting for. Yes, sir, shredded Ralston is the cereal everyone gets excited about. It has a flavor so unusual, so different, so popular, the flavor secret is patented. And shredded Ralston is whole wheat the way you like it. Baked into little bite-sized biscuits that fit right on your spoon. It's the cereal your pal Tom Mix recommends to give you cowboy energy. The kind of energy you need to be a leader, a winner, and a real straight shooter. And now, we find ourselves in a room at the hospital in Capital City. A small, dark man with a hard face sits at a window. He wears a blue bathrobe. As he gazes out the window into the distance, the lights of Capital City have begun to twinkle in the late April twilight.
Oh, thank you, nurse.
Hello, Cuticle.
Hello.
It's about time you got here. Sit down, we got lots to talk over. Never mind holding your hand out like that. All you want is for me to look at your beautiful nails.
Well.
But sit down. We got a little time, and the nurse will give us about 10 minutes before she comes in again. How are things going in Dobie?
Well, I knew you'd want to know about that, so I made the rounds of the town today. Let me see. I made a list of the people I talked to. Oh, yes, here it is. Old Hickory, George Griswold, Lige Anderson, Nick Caffelio,
Yeah?
Lee Wong, Angus McPhee, Jed Partridge.
That's enough. You made the rounds, and we still got these yokels under our thumbs, eh? Even though I'm not there?
John, if you threw a scare into them, they won't forget. But with Bix back now, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, the scare is bound to wear off. You know, like polish off of a nail.
Oh, no, it won't wear off, bright boy. Listen to what I got to say and follow it. I say this modestly. Mix may be smart, but I got an amazing brain, too. You know what I mean?
Well, I've always said that...
Shut up and listen to my plan. I'm going to control Dobie. Once I control Dobie, it should be an easy matter to force Mix out. Once Mix is forced out, we got the perfect hideout for anybody who wants to use it. You know what I mean?
Well,
a torpedo type right some shield, no? He's got to have a place to hide. We got it. We got Tom Mix's old hometown. Anybody think of looking for him here? No. So he comes here, we keep him safe on ice till the heat's off. And he pays plenty. It's a gold mine.
Well, yes, but Ciano, if you're here in the hospital...
I'm not going to be here in the hospital. You're going to get me out.
Get you out?
Yes. You get me released and have me moved to a small private hospital. There's a place right here in Capital City. You can do it. Simple. Once I'm in the private hospital, I can operate without any trouble. You see to it I get a private room, private telephone, all the fixing. Get it?
Yes, I think I do. Oh, I do wish you had an emery board. This nail does bother me.
I know how to fix that nail, Cuticle.
You do?
Yeah. Just fail to do what I'm telling you to do. You won't have anything to worry about after that.
Now, Cesar Ciano, by his own estimate, has a remarkable brain. Perhaps it is remarkable, though the records prove that criminals are never as smart as they think they are. However, we must agree that Cesar Ciano's brain has thought of every angle of his plan, and, obeying the commands of its master, is expertly taking care of all that might be expected to occur. But unfortunately for Cesar Ciano, this remarkable brain of his has failed to take care of the unexpected. How could this brain, for instance, know about the woman in gray? Well, it couldn't. And so it comes about that although Cesar Ciano proposed evil in one direction, the woman in gray disposed evil in quite another. Just how, we'll know in a moment or two. Right now, here's a way to wake up lazy appetites and turn those morning breakfast yawns into ear-to-ear smiles. Just reach for a red and white checkerboard package of shredded Ralston. And when those neat little crisp, toasty, shredded Ralston bite-sized biscuits come tumbling out of the package, watch your family sit up and snap to attention. And when they pour on the milk, heap on their favorite fruit, and dive in. Boy, oh boy, you'll hear them sing out for second helpings before they finish their first. Shredded Ralston is a perfect breakfast for busy people. Made of nourishing whole wheat, it's so rich in energy, even a little does a lot for you. And Shredded Ralston has a flavor that's out of this world. A flavor so swell, you don't need sugar to enjoy it. Remember the name, it's Shredded Ralston. Once you try it, you'll agree it tastes so grand it makes breakfast the best meal of the day. Now, consider the woman in gray. It's evening in Dobie as she enters the deserted drugstore of our friend, Charlie Frisbee. Listen.
Yes, ma'am? What can I do for you?
Nothing.
Well, you must have come in here for something.
I did, Mr. Frisbee.
Well, what is it you want?
You.
I'm afraid I didn't hear you rightly. I have a splitting headache at the moment.
You heard what I said well enough. I want you.
Well, I don't understand.
You will. Some weeks ago, a man named Cesar Ciano came to this town. You know whom I mean, of course. You should. With threats of death to you and your family, he intimidated you, as he did everyone else in Dobie. Well, I'm here to tell you, Mr. Frisbee, that you need fear Mr. Ciano no longer. You see, I have certain powers which render Mr. Ciano harmless. I shall see to it that he harms neither you nor anyone in Dobie.
Say, who are you? You're strange.
My name is Griselda Gray. I possess the power of making people do anything I want them to do. Consequently, I have only to command for Mr. Ciano to obey.
If this is true, Angus McPhee told me...
Yes. By the same token, Mr. Frisbee, I can also control you.
Oh, you're kidding.
Crudely expressed. Still, a measure of your disbelief. Well, I must convince you of my unique power, as I doubtless suppose I shall be forced to convince all others in this town. Are your nerves strong, Mr. Frisbee?
Not very.
Too bad. I was about to demonstrate the... Well, I can't, of course, not with your nerves in the condition you say they are. I shall content myself with a very small illustration of my power.
Is it that necessary?
Very. Sorry, Mr. Frisbee. Whether your nerves can stand it or not, I'm going to shock you a little.
Just what is going to happen to Charlie Frisbee? Who is the woman in gray? And why has she come to Dobie? Apparently, her presence not only means trouble for Tom, but for Cesar Ciano as well. Don't fail to be with Tom Mix and his Ralston Straightshooters tomorrow for the next episode, a spine-tingling one in The Mystery of the Woman in Gray.
Shredded Ralston for your breakfast starts the day off shining bright. Gives you lots of cowboy energy with a flavor that's just right. It's delicious and nutritious, bite-sized and ready to eat. Take a tip from Tom, go and tell your mom, Shredded Ralston can't be beat.
For better breakfasts, it's Ralston. 1, 2, 3. Shredded Ralston, the ready-to-eat bite-sized cereal. Regular Ralston and instant Ralston, the delicious hot cereals. Look for these whole grain cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. For better breakfasts, it's Ralston. 1, 2, 3. Tom Mix was played by Curly Bradley and written by George Lothar. Don Gordon speaking. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
April 22nd, 1947, the Tom Mix Ralston Straightshooters on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. And just a reminder that you can hear all of our shows at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon, even Facebook. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. You can even catch up at my webpage, which is classicradio.stream. You can also contact me through our webpage, and you can also find all of our social media links. classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.